And we're back with another video. What's going on, beautiful people? I'm your host, Avery Wright, bringing you your Carolina Panthers post-game review, Week 8, Bank of America Stadium against the division rival Atlanta Falcons. Now, coming into this game, Carolina was on a 2-game losing streak. And at the end of tonight, they are now on a 3-game losing streak, after dropping the ball at home at Bank of America Stadium to their division rival, the Atlanta Falcons, in a 25-17 loss. Now, before I get into this, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty upset after the loss. I started to get emotionally attached. Once we went on that 3-game winning streak, I'll admit I started to get a little bit of attached. But I'm fully detached now. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to cheer for this team, but like my expectations grew a little bit, but now they're back down at the bottom. Now, I'm going to give credit when credit is due. First off, congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons for getting their second win on the year. They are 2-6 and only now 1 game behind us from 3rd place in the NFC South. So good for them, and end of the season splitting with Atlanta. And they were just the better team, man. That's all there was. I mean, both teams played really sloppy, but Atlanta played better than us. And credit to them, they made adjustments, which Carolina did not make at all. I mean, it just all came crashing down. But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, let's start on the biggest problem of the night, the defense. Again, I don't know what Phil Snow has been doing, but he was playing that soft zone that I warned in the preview that if he does that against Matt Ryan, he is going to destroy us. And what happened? He did. I mean, he didn't have a touchdown, but his stats were still pretty much decent, you know. It was ridiculous. And last time, remember, the time when we played them in Atlanta, they did not have Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley went off on us. And Calvin Ridley probably would have went off on us today if he hadn't gotten injured. But prayers up to Calvin Ridley. Hopefully, he's not going to be out for the rest of the season. They said he had an ankle injury. He did not return to the game, so hopefully he can get back out there for the Atlanta Falcons. So just prayers up to Calvin Ridley. But yeah, last time we played them, they didn't have Julio. This time they had Julio, and this time James Bradberry wasn't covering Julio. James Bradberry has been doing a great job of bottling up Julio. But you know, now since he's on the Giants, we don't have anyone that can cover Julio, and that was evident today. 7 receptions, 137 yards. Just ridiculous, man. It was just, again, the soft zone, you know. They were only rushing with 3 because our secondary is so depleted that they're scared of letting the receivers beat them. And even on the soft zone, they were still getting beat. I mean, everyone saw that first play when Julio ran that beautiful route and had Dante Jackson slipping and sliding out there in the rain. I was like, oh my goodness. After I saw that, I knew it was going to be a long day for us. And Julio had a fast start, man, but it wasn't only him. I mean, Hayden Hurst played well, but it was mostly Julio. And you got to give credit to their running game as well. Hill had 11 carries, 55 yards, and Todd Gurley had 18 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. The defense, they just couldn't do anything, man. I mean, they got pressure a few times. They still got 2 sacks, and they were the 2 defensive linemen that got the sacks in the last time we played Atlanta. It was Marquise Haynes and Brian Burns. Sadly, this time, Brian Burns did not get his patented strip sack. Brian Burns should have had 2 sacks, though, but because of Troy Pride Jr., it was waved off, and Atlanta got the first down. Now, that's another thing. Even though they were playing soft zone, the defense at times showed sparks, but the Panthers defense just kept shooting themselves in the foot. It was like the same story as last week. They'll let the Falcons run the ball down their throat, get a few huge gains on first down, right? And then once you get them second down, okay, kind of backed them up a bit. And then the Falcons get a penalty on their own. Okay, back them up a bit. Then it's 3rd and long. And what happens? Matt Ryan finds like the open holes in that soft zone, and he picks up a first down on like 3rd and 15. It's like, come on, man. You can't do that. Did they not learn? Did Phil Snow and the defensive coordinators and everybody did not learn from last week against New Orleans, who went 12 for 14 on 3rd down? Now, granted, they did a lot better at stopping them on 3rd down this week, but the Falcons aren't really a good 3rd down team this year. So does it really matter? No, it really doesn't. But they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Like I said, Brian Burns should have had that second sack, but it would be holding on Troy Pride Jr. Or then someone comes up, Matt Ryan throws an incompletion and pressure. Now, let me say this. Brian Burns has been the only one consistently getting pressure. I mean, he's in that backfield like really, really fast. And I think on that second sack that he should have had, but it was called back, he got injured. So prayers up to Brian Burns. We need him. He's basically our whole defense. He's our best defender, defensive player. And then second behind him is Jeremy Chin. But real quick, can we talk about that spin move that Brian Burns did, man? Oh my goodness. Brian Burns has one of the meanest spin moves I've seen on a young defensive end. Like I said in the preview and then at the last week for the Saints game, that man has gold jacket talent, man. And it's going to be fun to watch him blossom and bloom. Hopefully the Panthers can sign him, like re-sign him, because his contract year is next year. But, the way how things are looking, like Marty Hurney, I'll get into Marty Hurney when we get onto this offense. But yeah, man, the secondary was basically depleted. But Brian Burns was getting a lot of pressure. And it was because of that pressure that Dante Jackson got that interception. Now, I will say Dante Jackson was on skates all night against Julio, but he did get the interception. And I will say this. Dante Jackson's not really good in coverage. He's more so of a ball hawk. Dante Jackson could play pretty bad down a drive, but somehow he'll make up for it by getting an interception or getting a pass breakup. So it kind of evens out a little bit if you think about it. And that secondary, well, speaking of Dante Jackson, I mean, he got injured again. It was his toe that was acting up again. And like I said, it feels like Dante Jackson's gotten injured in almost every single game this year. But again, prayers up to him. Hopefully he's not going to be out for a significant amount of time because we're already depleted as it is. I mean, after Dante Jackson went out, it just went completely out of hand in that secondary. Our secondary, after he went out, it was just Corn Elder, oh goodness, Troy Pride, Trey Boston, and Sam Franklin. Now, the thing about Sam Franklin, he's another Temple guy. And that's the thing about Matt Rule. Ron Rivera, he had his thing where he loves veterans. Matt Rule loves his Temple guys. But Sam Franklin is not good at his position. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it how I see it. Sam Franklin is not good. And he had a few PIs for pass interference when we had Atlanta out on like 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10. It's like, come on, man. Again, they kept shooting themselves in the foot. But I will say the rookie Jeremy Chin led the way with 10 tackles. And he had a 4th down attempt that went 20 yards, which was crazy. I was not expecting that, but they only got a field goal out of that. So let's go ahead and move on to the offense. That's enough about the defense. The offense. First off, that was one heck of a start to the game for the offense. I mean, they played really well. And then after the Curtis Samuel's second touchdown he had, it all just came crashing down. It came down bad. Teddy Bridgewater went 15 for 23, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mike Davis, 13 carries, 66 yards. Teddy Bridgewater also had 5 carries for 50 yards. Robbie Anderson had 5 receptions for 48 yards. Curtis Samuel had 4 receptions, 31 yards, 2 touchdowns, and DJ Moore had 2 receptions and 55 yards. Like I said, it all went downhill after Curtis's second touchdown. The lead was 14-6. after that, the Panthers offense only scored 3 points after that, while the Atlanta Falcons proceeded to score 19 unanswered points. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But again, you have to give credit when credit is due. The Atlanta defense, after they were down 14-6, they made adjustments on their defense. And that leads me to the offensive line. The offensive line played absolutely terrible again today. And I think now everyone now has the formula to figure out how to get past this Panthers offensive line. Blitz, 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 blitz. That's how you're gonna beat our offensive line easily. Like literally, all the Falcons were doing were blitzing, and they would run Dion, because you know I was about to say the Panthers. The Falcons love blitzing with their linebackers. They love sending their linebackers on with the pressure. Deion Jones was getting through that A-gap blitz every single time. He was always there in the back. So was Grady Jarrett. Matt Paradis, however you say his name, the center, and what's his name, Chris Reed, they just kept letting them get by. They kept missing their assignments. And then one time Mike Davis almost got Teddy Bridgewater killed. He tried to kind of just shoved him off to the side. It's like, Mike, come on, man. It's like, did you not learn from last week when you got Teddy Bridgewater sacked? It's ridiculous. The offensive line has just been playing terrible. And Teddy was under duress all day. And he got injured too, but I'm not even going to talk about that. Who am I kidding? I'm going to talk about it. I mean, he got hit. I mean, he got tripped up by Dante Fowler. And then after that, whoever 92 was hit him when he was down. And he could have broken Teddy's spine, man. I think that was just a dirty play. You know, the Fowler thing wasn't that bad, but you still tripped him, bro. You knew what the heck you was doing. I wouldn't put it past Atlanta. You know, they are a little dirty. Especially, like I said, I still have animosity towards that defense because of Keanu Neal when he was headhunting Cam Newton back in 2018 and went on Twitter and was like, whoa, he kind of deserved it, but he deleted the tweet. So I wouldn't put it past them. They're called the Dirty Birds for a reason anyway. But anyway, they still won. That's neither here nor there. But even Teddy still came back, but he didn't play that well at all. Yes, he was under duress, but still, I'm putting half of the blame on the offense. There's blame to go around, except for the receivers. It's a blame on the offensive line who could not block all night. It's on Joe Brady. I don't know what kind of game Joe Brady was calling, but he kept calling all these short dink and dunk passing. Even Troy Aikman said, like, what are you doing? Like, that's not how you're gonna win. You see, they keep playing up and they bring the pressure and the blitz. Those short throws and dinking and dunking is not gonna work. On top of that, Teddy Bridgewater needs to learn he needs to stop just staring down his receivers. You have to go through your progressions. Too many times, especially he loves to do it on those slant routes. He just eyes one receiver. You don't think the defense picks up on that? That's how we got that interception against why he threw that interception 2 weeks against Chicago. It's ridiculous. Yes, I know I'm on Teddy, but it like I said, there's blame to go around. I'm not gonna say just because he got basically got concussed and had a little CTE miss come out of him doesn't mean he's still not to blame. But there's blame to go around for everyone. But I think most of the blame is on the offensive line and Joe Brady. Joe Brady has to call a better game than that, and the offensive line has to do a better job of blocking. Mike Davis, like I said, that one block he had was just god awful. It was ridiculous. And he's played okay. He had a better game than the past 2 weeks, but still, I think when we get Christian McCaffrey back next week, that should help out Mike Davis. You know, I really hope they don't give all the bulk back to Christian McCaffrey like they were doing earlier in the year. I feel like he should share the workload with Mike Davis, and they both could just swap in and out with each other, which I think would be beneficial to both Mike Davis and Christian McCaffrey. Now, for the receivers, I mean, they play well. Curtis Samuel, I will say this about Matt Rule. Matt Rule knows how to use Curtis Samuel better than Ron Rivera ever did. Ron Rivera only used Curtis Samuel on jet sweeps. Curtis Samuel if you're familiar with him, and when he was at the Ohio State University, he played wide receiver and running back. So he knows what he's doing. And Matt Rule is maximizing Curtis's full potential. But will we re-sign him? I don't know, because Marty Herney is an idiot of a GM. Heck, we might not even get Taylor Martin, who's been our best offensive lineman all year. He probably won't be back here, and we won't have Curtis Samuel. Just to give y'all a heads up. Do I think they'll come back? I want them to, but we don't have a competent enough GM to give them a contract. It's ridiculous. Last thing I'm going to say about the offense is they could not convert on third down at all. I mean, my goodness. 2 for 10 on third down and then 1 for 3 on fourth down. Again, still got to give credit to the Atlanta defense. But I don't know, that 1 fourth down where Mike Davis, he basically pulled on Mark Sanchez almost, but except he didn't fumble. He ran into Taylor Martin's butt and just was flat on his butt. Come on, man. You got to have better ball carrying vision than that. It was just an all-around bad performance by the Panthers. Now, I know I always get on the defense, but again, the defense is doing as much as they can do. You know, like I said, most of the people on that defense are either rookies or washed up veterans that wouldn't even make a 53-man roster on a different team. I'm just going to keep it a buck. That's how it is. But I don't know. I was very disappointed in this loss, to be honest, but that's what I get for being emotionally attached. But now I'm emotionally detaching for the rest of the season. I'm just going to watch the games. If we win, that's cool. If we lose, that's cool. You know, no more hard feelings, but that 3-game winning streak got my hopes up a little bit. I never said we were going to make the playoffs. I said at max we could probably get 7 or 8 wins, but looking at Carolina's schedule in the future, man, they'll be lucky if they even win 2 more games. I mean, seriously, they will be lucky if they win 2 more games. That's just really how it's looking. I mean, the next week we go on the road to Kansas City. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have no confidence in this team at all going up against Kansas City, especially that defense. You know what I'm saying? You know, the defense has done a good job of not letting teams get up to 30 points, but Patrick Mahomes, especially that soft zone, he's going to carve us up all day. So don't be surprised if the Panthers get blown out next weekend to Kansas City. I wouldn't be surprised. I expect them to put up a 50-piece on us. I know I'm being very pessimistic, but I'm not going to get my expectations up. I'm really not. My expectations always get up every time when I think that's what's the problem. I think there are a few problems. One, I think it's because of those all-black uniforms that the Panthers wear. As much as I love the all-black unis, I think those things are cursed, man. I think it's we're 3-10 all time in the all-black unis. So we typically don't play well in those unis. I think the best record unis is probably the blue ones that we have. The white ones have a below 500 thing, but we've worn those the most. The black jerseys, silver pants, I still think those have a losing record too. But the all black jerseys, since we started doing those things in 2018, it's been nothing but heartbreak and heartache. That's one thing that I think jinxes us. And 2, I'm starting to realize, I think it's because the Carolina Panthers media team. Can y'all stop making those hype videos before the game? Notice, when they didn't make hype videos, during that 3-game winning streak. I remember they made a hype video for that Chicago game, and that got me pumped up. You know, those hype videos, they're supposed to get you hyped for the game. But then it starts to give fans unrealistic expectations, and then when the Panthers don't meet the expectations and win, it hits harder as a fan. You know, so if the Carolina Panthers media team ever comes across this video, I'm just letting y'all know right now. Can you guys stop with the hype videos, please? But for one thing, y'all are doing a magnificent job with those hype videos. I'm not even gonna lie. The Nightmare on Mint Street, when they were talking about the all black unis for the game, the Thursday night game, that was really dope. Y'all are doing your thing, but still, stop the hype videos, because that, along with the all black unis, they're just jinxing the Panthers, man. I don't even know what else to say. It's every time I watch those hype videos, it gets my expectations up high, and then they all come crashing down when we lose. Final thoughts. I'm just gonna say, hey, Brian Burns is amazing, man. Again, I hope he's not gonna be out for a significant amount of time. Just hope he's gonna be okay, because we're gonna need him and all the help we can get for next week against Kansas City. Another thing is we really need some help in the secondary, man. I mean, we can't go into that game with Corn Elder, Sam Franklin, Trey Boston, and Troy Pride Jr. as our secondary against Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman and the rest of those boys. Le'Veon Bell, oh my goodness. That's probably going to be Le'Veon Bell's. No, I think he's playing this weekend. But if not, his first game will be against us. It's just a lot. So I'm sorry, but I don't see us winning the game next week. But who knows? You know, any given Sunday. For all we know, the Panthers could surprise and pull the Oakland Raiders and put up a 40-piece on them. But I don't see it. The only reason why the Raiders did that is because it's a divisional opponent. Division games are always hard. Just like with this game. Carolina lost to Atlanta, but it was a division game. But again, we still weren't really the heavy favorites to win. Atlanta had the slight edge against us, but it is what it is. Another thing, the offensive line, they need help. They need to figure something out, because now teams are going to start blitzing us, and Teddy Bridgewater is terrible under duress, and he stares down receivers. It's just bad. And the last thing I'm going to say about Teddy Bridgewater, again, he folded under pressure. I'm sorry, that's the second time, man, where he's tried to put together a game-winning drive, and he throws an inerrant interception. I'm just saying, a lot of people, y'all was grilling Cam for years when he was throwing interceptions like that. But Teddy gets a pass? From what I've been seeing on Twitter? Nah, come on, man. Don't two-face it. Don't two-face it. Y'all gotta give Teddy the same punishment that y'all would give to Cam. And like I'm saying, that's the second week, because like I said, the Chicago game, he threw it right into, I forget whose hands it was. And then this week, he threw it right into another no-name. I don't know who's in Atlanta secondary, but some no-name guy got the interception. It's like, come on, man. This team is not built for coming back at all. This Panthers team has to have a lead, and they have to keep it. If they lose that lead and they're playing catch-up, they will not win, because either the offensive line will fold or Teddy Bridgewater will throw an interception. It never ceases to amaze me. And we made Matt Ryan look like Jared Allen out there when he was running, especially on that touchdown. That was really my boiling point. But I don't know. We'll see what happens next week against Kansas City. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Give me any type of feedback that you guys like. And that's all I got for this Thursday primetime matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and Carolina Panthers. You guys have a blessed weekend. Blessed rest of your week. Don't forget to drink your water. Be blessed. Stay healthy. Keep pounding. And go Panthers.